Welcome. If you are looking at making a decision on buying a parcel of land, either with a joint partnership, either with your friend or your wife, your business partner, anybody, this is called joint ownership of land. Welcome once again to this live show on how to make safe and profitable real estate investment. So today's topic will be discussing more on things you need to look out for, important facts you must look out for when looking at buying land with either your partner, your friend, anybody, two or more persons. So things you must look out for when buying land, when you are looking at joint partners. So a lot of people are always giving an excuse on if I want to invest in real estate, okay, I don't have this kind of amount of money to put into real estate investment. It is now easy to do through joint ownership. So joint ownership helps you to invest in large amount of real estate investment, but you must be very careful while doing this. So in this video, I'll be talking about things that two people must look out for when looking at investing in real estate through joint ownership. That's one. Things that two or more people should look out for while looking at investing in real estate through joint ownership. That's two. Then three, how to manage this joint ownership. How to manage the joint ownership. So now, let's take a look at this. Let's say a husband and a wife are looking at investing in real estate, and both of them are looking at pooling resources together. A lot of people do make these mistakes of, okay, let's say for example, they are using, okay, let's say the husband name is, the other son name is, son name is John. The son name is John. Then the first name is Box. Box. Son name John. First name is Box. So now, let's say the wife's name is Victoria. Victoria. So this is the husband. 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 Victoria Box. And this is the wife. So a lot of people do make this mistake. The son name is, okay, okay. This is the first name. First name. And this is the surname. Their surname is Box. Surname. So a lot of people do say, for example, if they are looking at buying a property like husband and wife, instead of them to use independent names, they will now use Mr. and Mrs. This property is purchased by Mr. and Mrs. Box. No, that is wrong. Instead, you say this property is owned by Mr. John Box and Mr. John Box and Mrs. Victoria Box. Can you see that? So stop making that mistake of saying, okay, when we are drafting the deed of assignment of that property, stop making mistake of putting Mr. and Mrs. Box. No, it's wrong. So this is what a lot of people do. They will do Mr. and Mrs. Box. And this is incorrect. This is incorrect. Incorrect. This is correct. This is correct. So when you are drafting the deed of assignment of that property, ensure that you are drafting the right thing. You are drafting the right, you are not putting Mr. and Mrs. this. So in a situation where you put Mr. and Mrs. Box as the owner of that property, if, let's say, both of them, they got divorced, or maybe a separation happened, there is no law that says that now that separation has happened, the wife that contributed to buy the property with the husband, she's automatically kicked out. Because the husband, Mr. John Box, can marry another person, and there's no evidence that shows that you are part of the ownership of the land. So what can only bring evidence that will show that yes, you are the owner is when the name on that document is probably written as, okay, this property is purchased by Mr. John Box and Mrs. Victoria Box. Can you see that now? So that's, according to law, this shows that both of you owns this property. So if all the properties, if all the partners that owns the properties, that is both the husband and wife, their names must be written properly in this arrangement. So that's that on husband and wife. Now let's talk on partners. So when looking at buying property through two or more people, that is maybe like 10 persons are looking at buying a property. Number one, I always say is do your due diligence and ensure you know all the owners of that particular property. I recap. Know all the owners of that particular property. So when you have confirmed that these are the people that own this property, ensure that all the owners of the property consent through a written consent, that is either a signature that shows that yes, they have all agreed to sell this property. So this will reduce the risk of buying into a property and keep on paying and keep on paying. I see a lot of people make the mistakes. They buy property without knowing the total amount of people that owns that particular property. And then they fall into disclosure. They go bankruptcy. Because the other owners will keep on coming. They will keep on coming that, oh, I'm the owner of this property, I'm part of the owners, and you're, So in that situation, when you buy a property that is owned by multiple parties, but only two people consent that they own the property, it means there will be a default. It's a defaulted title. You will not be able to process title on that land because all the parties that own the land are yet to consent before you make the purchase. So that will cause you a loss of funds. Number one, you will not be able to process title for that property because you bought the property without getting a proper signature of all the people that owns the property. And then you lose your money. So buyers beware, caveat emptor, buyers beware. Before investing in any property, ensure that you do your proper due diligence. You do a proper search to know the owners, the real owners of the property, so that you will not fall into wrong hands. I believe you all get that. So if two people buy a piece of property, they must make sure that they know the owners of the property. That's one. All the owners of the property consent to the contract, to the purchase of that property. That will save you from losing your money to the investment. So now, let me now talk about another aspect. So thank you for joining us. As you are joining us, kindly share, like, subscribe. If you are watching streaming from YouTube, kindly subscribe to our channel and click on the thumbs up button. So let's continue. So in a situation where two parties own a property, that is a husband and a wife. Let's now say the wife died. There is no law that says that the next of kin of that wife can easily acquire that property. No law says that. The only way that you can use to make your next of kin acquire all the claims, all the benefits of that property is when you do a proper management. And how can you do a proper management on the property that you have bought? Through joint ownership. Number one, is that you consult a lawyer. Yes, you must consult a lawyer. After consulting a lawyer, you need to draft a document, a contract. That document shows that, number one, this property is owned by the both of you. Number two, this particular portion is owned by you. Number two, this property is owned by both of you. This particular portion is owned by let's say Mrs. Victoria Box. Mrs. Victoria Box. So you both of you must go and draft their contract that shows that both of you owned the property and also the portion that you both of you owned. That's another thing. Then number three, that contract must also contain that in cases of death, you want XYZ person, maybe your sister or maybe anybody, maybe your mom, you want them to take over the property in case of death. So you must have that. And in that case of death again, in that case of death, you must ensure, even before, this is when you buy the property, this is when you're supposed to consult a lawyer to do this agreement. So that agreement will save you from a lot of stories. It will save you, it will make your property to be safe. So you must there's a document that you must also prepare. It is called document of partition. Document of partition. So this document shows that both of you own the property. Document of partition. It indicates that the rights and the limit of each person owns that particular property. I hope you all get that. The document of partition is a document that shows the right and limits, benefits of both parties. So very important, very, very important, very important. So ensure that you put that in place. So before buying a property owned by two or more persons, do your due diligence very well. Ensure that you do your due diligence. And in a situation whereby the second party died, before you can be granted the right to sell off that property, you must get the death certificate of that second party. Very important. The death certificate of that property is very important. So without getting the death certificate, there is nobody. You will not be able to transfer the ownership to another person. You will not be able to transfer it. So getting the death certificate is very important. And also a sworn affidavit attesting to the fact that the rights and benefits of that particular property has been transferred to your next of kin. To the next of kin. So you must get a sworn affidavit that attests to the fact that all the rights and benefits has been transferred to him or her, the person that you're looking at transferring the property to. So have that. So you cannot say because the person has the next of kin, then the benefit of the land will be transferred immediately. No, except you manage that property very well. How can you manage it? You manage it by preparing this document of partition. Document of partition. The moment you buy it, see, buying the property owned by two persons is one step. Then another step is managing that particular property. How can you manage it? You can manage it by consulting a lawyer to prepare a document that brings out all the benefit and the next of kin that you are looking at transferring the property to for a smooth transfer of the property. I believe that we have been able to get value from this. Please kindly share this video to as much people as possible so they can get the value you're getting. So I believe you are all getting value. So when buying properties with either your business partner or multiple people, you guys are coming together to acquire a huge amount of property. Ensure that you do all the steps I've listed right in this video. All parties must accept by written consent. They must accept by written consent that yes, This property belongs to me and I'm ready to sell it out. Take note of that. Take note of that so that you can be safe while making your real estate investment through co-ownership. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. As I'm joining us, can you tell us your name and the city you're joining us from? And please share this video to as much people as you can. Share this video to as much people as you can. So for you to be safe about your decisions on joint ownership lands, ensure that you prepare a proper document that shows that both of you owns the land, a document that shows that the benefits and the rights of this property should be transferred to my next of kin. In the cases of death, in the case of separation, if it is husband and wife, case of separation, even case of death too, is also part of it. So you must prepare a document of partition. Get a lawyer, a sound lawyer that will help you do this, so that in case of separation, you guys can easily share the benefits of the property, especially for husband and wives. When both of them divorce, the property, since you have done your own assignments by ensuring that your name is properly stated on the documents, Mr. John Boggs and Mrs. Victoria Boggs owns this property. So stop enough of all those Mr. and Mrs. XYZ. That's not accepted by the law. Buyers, beware. Caveat emptor, beware. Don't make that mistake of putting Mr., especially husband and wife. They are fond of using Mr. and Mrs. XYZ. Stop that. Stop that. Law does not recognize that. That is null and void. The law doesn't recognize that. So follow these principles if you truly want to make a safer and a better joint ownership real estate investment decision. So I believe that you have gotten value from this, and kindly share this video to as much people as possible. Thank you for joining us to this moment. And please, if you are streaming from YouTube, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, my name is Pelumi Awodia, and what I do is that I help you to make safer and most profitable real estate investment decision in Lagos and other parts of Nigeria. And if you're also looking at investing in the UK, in the US, in Dubai, we also have properties that is up for sale that will give you maximum return on your investment. Please turn on your notification button so that you can get notified on the next live video. Today is the 11th day of my live video coming up here to give you maximum value. Yes, because I believe that right now is the best time to key into Nigeria real estate market, because there's a lot of potential. A lot of potential. During the first quarter of the year, real estate in Nigeria added 11 trillion naira to the Nigeria economy. 11 trillion naira. So this should tell you that there's a lot to benefit from Nigeria real estate market. There's a lot. Nigeria real estate market has maximum potential. It has great potential to give you maximum profit, because there are a lot of undeveloped places that you can invest. A lot of undeveloped places. So the best time to invest is when we still have undeveloped places. Don't wait till those undeveloped places becomes a city. Start your real estate investments right now and be safe. Kindly watch this video from the beginning to the end so you can get maximum value and also be safe while investing in real estate. Thank you for joining us, and bye for now.